Mayor Steadman.
Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Pat Steadman, and I'm really glad to see all of you. I'm glad you were all on time, even though I wasn't. I represent District 31 right now, which is actually a multi-county district for Denver. I'm half Denver County and half Adams County. And the district, as it's currently configured, is a very north-south district that runs up I-25, clear up to 92nd and Sheridan in Westminster, and all the way down to the west side of Washington Park in Denver. The district is changing quite a bit, and when you're talking about Senate districts in Denver, really the key to what's changing or driving the changes to the map is the fact that Denver, didn't grow as fast as the rest of the state. We are losing some representation in the Senate from Denver. Today, there are 5 senators that reside in the city and county of Denver, representing 4.5 Senate districts, the half being my portion of Denver, and then I make up the rest of my district in Adams. Under the new map, and with the arithmetic, as Representative Kagan was discussing, Denver's really going to only have enough population for 4 Senate districts. And so one of the 5 is going away. As it turns out, Senator Joyce Foster, who currently represents District 35, has decided that she will not seek re-election next year. She had pretty much come to that conclusion earlier this spring, and some of the realities around redistricting, I think, helped her make up her mind to join her husband in retirement and do more travel and spend more time with the grandkids and not seek re-election. And so as a result, what's really happening with the map in Denver, and Jerry, I don't know if you can zoom in on what's on this map called 21. Currently I represent District 31. I'll talk about numbers here in just a second. Is that Senator Foster's district is being reconfigured a little, and it comes and reaches up into central Denver and picks up my neighborhood. I've got another map here, actually with in yellow, and I don't know if everybody can see it from clear back there, but I live in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, which is about right here in this new district. I live pretty much smack dab in the middle of my current Senate district because, again, it runs north-south. But under this new district, the only part of my current district that falls in this yellow is just a little bitty bit right here where my finger is. And so the overlap between my current district and the new proposed district is pretty minimal. And it really is Capitol Hill, Golden Triangle, a little bit of Baker, those sorts of areas. I'm one, probably, of all the Denver senators, I think I'm the one that is seeing the most drastic change to my district, because really what's going on is Joyce Foster's district is now being reconfigured to include me. The boundaries of this district are Santa Fe on the west, Colfax on the north, First Avenue. There's that long skinny part that sticks out there to the left side, I guess. First to Colfax, Santa Fe, all the way to Colorado Boulevard. And then once you get to Colorado Boulevard, the northern boundary drops down to Hale Avenue and then 11th. And on the eastern side, all of the boundaries are the Denver city limits with Arapahoe County and Aurora. Some parts are unincorporated Arapahoe there in the 4 square mile area. The southern boundary is Hampton. Colorado Boulevard comes down until it hits I-25, and then I-25 becomes the border, except for a little bit of the Holly Hills unincorporated Arapahoe enclave, which is kept in this district, so that all of the enclave areas of Arapahoe County would be included in this new Senate District 21 or 31. And so I've got a lot of overlap with Representative Court, but also a little bit with McCann, a little bit with Ferrandino, lots of, a little bit with Crisanta Duran. So it's going to be, a very diverse district again. It is a big change, and I really appreciate the things Dan Kagan was saying earlier about, you become really attached to certain areas in your district and constituents that have been really active and, people that you feel like you know really well and you have really great relationships with. The district I represent now is one that includes where I went to high school and the neighborhood I grew up in when I was a kid, and all of that's going away. And instead I'm headed east and headed out to the Aurora city limits and down to Tamarack Square, and it's a lot of new territory. And so I've already started spending a little bit of time trying to get to know some of the neighborhoods and some of the people that are active in those parts of town. And it's a little bit of a dilemma because for the next 14 months at least, I still represent technically the district that goes up into Adams County. And those are my constituents until the next election. And yet I think there's going to be a transition period coming about where I'm going to start spending quite a bit less time, let's say, in Adams County or Wash Park West, and a lot more time over in this eastern part of the district getting to know new constituents that will be my voters in the next election. And exactly when that switch happens and when you sort of stop representing one set of constituents in certain areas and when you start representing a whole new batch in a new side of town is something I struggle with, and I'm going to have to figure out what that balance is. The last thing I would just point out about these maps, and this is true of all of the House and the Senate maps, the Reapportionment Commission hasn't finalized this. And one of the things I believe they do at the end is really make some decisions about the numbering of districts. And there's been several different maps that have been tossed around and approved where the districts have been labeled with different numbers. And Jerry, maybe you spoke to this before I got here. I'm really hoping not to end up in 21 and to still keep my number 31. Just because all the other Denver Senate districts are in the 30s. But under this map, it's 21, but I think that's tentative, and I think amongst all the other things that people lobby on for the reapportionment commissioners to consider, in addition to boundaries and streets and neighborhoods, those labels and the numbers on your district, just for continuity's sake, I think are also important, so keep an eye on that, and don't get too invested in what that may say today.
Okay, so I have a question, Senator. So I live currently what's currently 35 and will become 21. And then you said your district is currently 31. And then that's going to get parceled out like apparently to everybody else. So does that mean that the number 31 in the current configuration, because it's a low priority item for the commission, 31 just doesn't exist anywhere?
Oh no, there's still 35 Senate districts.
Okay.
And actually, I believe under the final approved map, they gave the number 31 to the San Luis Valley and Southern Colorado district. Is that right, Jerry? Unless I'm mistaken.
So they may renumber them.
But yeah, that was just sort of some juggling, and some really strange things happened on this final map. Yeah, it's San Luis Valley, clear over to the Oklahoma and Kansas border. The question is whether
to move to the center.
Yeah. Whether I keep my 31 or you keep your 35, I'm hoping one of those things happens so at least we're in the 30s and it makes a little more sense as you look at the map.
Yeah, so right now they're using these numbers, but they may change.
Right, that's not
to
fun.
make them contiguous.
Jerry?
They are not final. Staff was instructed that whenever two incumbents were put within a district, not to assign that district either of their numbers for fear that
Create an
might lead it
advantage.
to be in favor of one or the other. That is the reason why it was not assigned either yours nor that number.
I did not know that, and that makes a lot of sense because actually this district is, I believe, the only one of the state's 35 Senate districts where the proposed map takes two incumbents and puts them in the same district.
Joyce?
Yes, Joyce Foster and I. And again, it was done sort of with the knowledge that Joyce was intending to not seek a second term. Other questions? Alice?
Do you and Lois get to count the voters in Fairmont?
No, this isn't Chicago.
If they filled out their census form, you bet.
All right, thanks.